this is Deb and Shaun Wood's house, the old Casey Moore's. I'll have all the quantities for you before you start, obviously, but this is the scope of works. I think we might come and do a day first. Actually, I'll work it out anyway. I think that, yeah, there'll be a day doing a little bit of minor rectification and the planting, and then day 2 will be the remulch. But we're going to power broom, resand and power broom this synthetic, and obviously before you do that, I'll get you to scrape up as much of this dirt as you can, and you can just chuck that in the canal because that's where it came from, and then hose that off. So if you have to power broom on day 2 to let that dry, well, so be it. I want you to top up the soil level in this garden. You're going to have to do it with buckets, but so be it. And you know, looking at that, there has to be at least 3 barrows going, because I'd like a little bit around the randia. You see how it's dropped along the edge as well? So these are the sort of things, like this house, Shaun is happy for it to get back to where it needs to be. So I could see at least 3-4 wheelbarrows going in there and just spread them out around the hymenaeus. So before we mulch, we get it up level with the painted render, and we cover that concrete with soil before we mulch on the edge. That takes care of all that garden along the bottom of the pools perfectly fine. This garden here beside the steps, before we mulch, we want to pull out all the old stakes. I can't believe that you guys have still left these little bamboo stakes here after all that time. Any wooden stakes that are no longer being utilised, if you can't get them out, we need to chop them off, please. I'll sneak around here. We will use, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. We can use 4 wheelbarrows of soil in there. You see how many of the roots on the randias are exposed. So if we can lose, let's just say 3 barrows of soil comfortably in there before we mulch. This side's all perfectly fine. Yeah, as part of this day, we're going to take the Carissa hedge around the date palm down to half the height it is now. Please. Shaun's okay with that. This side of the drive, nothing to do. Except you will be able to lose a wheelbarrow of soil in on the left-hand side of the path there, and half a barrel of soil on the right-hand side. We really want to try and get the finished height. See how Shaun wasn't that impressed? We can see underneath the finished tile there. So we need to get, I understand the, you know what, as part of doing this, that white stone needs to be collected into a bucket, and we need to, that drain is doing absolutely nothing now. So we need to get the soil level back up to that drain before we mulch, and then we'll put the stone back on. That's the way to do it properly, and that's the pain in the neck, but we need to do it. This must be 125 mil below tile height now, so you're gonna have to dip it in around the tabernets, but that's very doable. And it's the same on this side. There's going to be a good 2 wheelbarrows can go in around the tabernets before we mulch. Carissa's to cut in half, that's fine. Karen's booked in to come and do the date palm. I've spoken to her, and by the time you guys come, it'll be done. We're going to, nothing to do here, except we're going to pull out these Morea minimins, and Jack, if you can let this Raffio hedge grow out probably another 200 mil, I think that'll be fine. We're going to put, and I'll give you the number, but we're going to put, well actually it's easy, there'll be 4 little fills under that magnolia, please. And as Jack and Tiana suggested brilliantly, all these minimins are coming out in here, and for now, I think you guys suggested taking the gardenias out too, which we will do. Yeah, they're only going to keep going back and back more. So there'll be 2 pittosporums to replace each of the gardenias. So there'll be 4 pittosporums in total, 2 in each space, the Miss Muffets. And then, yeah, all the Morea minimins are coming out, and the little agapanthus, please. And we'll put little fills in there. And I will do a separate measurement for each of these gardens as far as the soil allowance goes, so that you know, yeah, you know what I've allowed to put in there. So about that jasmine, I'm going to come up with a replacement for the jasmine as well. So let's pull out the jasmine under both camellias. We'll top up the soil to the bottom of the tile, and I'll have another plant that you can put in there. Okay. And then, yeah, as I said, day 2 will be remulch. So there's a fair bit to do. But thank you, Jack and Tiana, for suggesting it, because boy, it really needs it.